Being a football star isn't always easy. It comes with a lot of money and a lot of fame, and without a good and responsible mentality, you can go pretty crazy. Some players can't control themselves and often get into fights, crash luxury cars, do drugs, and sometimes even deal drugs. Some are even one of the best players ever, and some, well, not that much. Welcome to Top 5 Football, and these are the top 5 football players that really messed up in their careers. Number 5. Diego Maradona. Considered by many one of the greatest ever footballers to play the game, Diego Armando Maradona had a lot of fame, girls, money, and parties coming his way. And unfortunately, he messed up a lot of times with the law. One of his biggest controversy was the hand of God goal that he scored against England in the 1984 World Cup quarterfinal. He had also a pretty big addiction to cocaine and girls. One night in 1991, while he was playing for Napoli, the Argentine got a phone call intercepted by the police, because apparently he was trying to order two prostitutes from none other than the Napoli Mafia. After the police raided his place at 4 a.m., they arrested him for cocaine possession and distribution. Later that year, he tested positive again for cocaine and was given a 15-month ban from football. And in 1994 World Cup, he was sent back home for failing another anti-doping test. What could have been if he only controlled himself. He has also been involved in numerous other controversies, like kicking a fan for getting in his way of a picture, and also when he was given a 2-year jail sentence for shooting journalists outside his house. Yeah, you heard that right. In the event, 4 people came out injured. Number 4. Luis Suarez. One of the most prolific strikers in recent years, Suarez is known for his long-lasting list of controversies throughout his career, almost all of them being inside the football field. It all started when in the 2010 World Cup quarterfinal against Ghana, Suarez blocked with both hands Dominic Adaya's shot. He was immediately expelled, and after the penalty was missed, it was shown on camera Suarez celebrating like crazy. Fast forward a couple of months and his first out of 3 biting incidents happened when playing for Ajax. He was handed a 7-match ban from the Dutch FA and fined by Ajax after biting back then PSV Eindhoven's midfielder Othman Bakal. Then, after signing for Liverpool in 2011, his first incident in England came when he was found guilty for racially abusing Manchester United's Patrice Evra during a Premier League match. Suarez was banned for 8 matches and fined over £65,000. And then, when the two met again, Suarez refused to shake Evra's hand. 2 years later, he bit again the former Chelsea defender Branislav Ivanovic in the arm, but the referee failed to see it. Liverpool fined him immediately the next day and he received a 10-match ban from the FA. Not learning from his previous mistakes, he went on to another biting rant in 2014, when in the World Cup he clashed with defender Giorgio Chiellini and smashed his teeth in his shoulder. The new Barcelona man missed the first games of La Liga after the incident with the Italian defender. Number 3. Arda Turan. The Turkish midfielder that shined in Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid never found light after moving to Barcelona. The bad-tempered player never lived up to the dream of playing consistently along Messi, Suarez and Neymar, and after a move to Turkish side Başakşehir, his personal life went downhill. In October 2018, it was reported that Turan had a confrontation with Turkish pop star Berkan Şahin, which ultimately ended in Turan breaking the singer's nose. Then, when he went on to visit him at the hospital with an unlicensed gun, which apparently went off by accident in the hospital. At first, Turkish authorities were looking at a possible 12.5-year jail sentence for the player, but after appealing in court, the sentence was reduced to 2 years and 8 months in prison. But he will not have to serve that time if he doesn't commit any crime in the next 5 years, thanks to Turkish authorities. It was also reported that his team Başakşehir fined him over 370,000 euros, making that the highest fine ever in Turkish football. Number 2. John Biafara. Not many people know the name John Biafara. He was a Colombian midfielder that played in several Colombian teams as well as Portsmouth and Real Sociedad. And he was also a key player for Southampton's midfield from 2006 to 2008. He also won several Colombian league titles, and even a Copa Libertadores title with local team Once Caldas. It appeared that he achieved what any South American footballer dreams of, but not lately, when in March 2019 he was arrested in Colombia for drug traffic and exportation to the United States. He was apparently a key part of an organization that exported drugs from the Pacific Colombian coast in small rapid boats, all the way to Mexico and the US. Back in January, he was extradited to the US, where he will present himself at a court in the east of Texas, where his sentence will be heard. Apparently, Biafra had links to some powerful Mexican cartels like the Sinaloa cartel and the Cartel del Golfo. Now, before we reveal our number one footballer that has messed up quite a few times, here are a couple honorable mentions. Eric Cantona. Former France and Manchester United legend, Cantona always had a big ego and no filter when it came for words. He was known for his controversial quotes and interviews, such as when his lawyer said that he couldn't go to court wearing an inappropriate shirt, he responded, "I am Cantona, I can go as I want." Just as the lawyer predicted, he was sentenced to 14 days in jail, but only served community service. And why is it that he served time, you ask? It was because after being sent off against Crystal Palace, he went on to kung fu kick a fan. This earned him his community service, a hefty fine, and was banned for the rest of the season. René Higuita. The famous Colombian goalkeeper that invented the famous scorpion kick, he was famous for a lot of things, such as scoring goals, his crazy hair, and being friends with Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar, but also for spending jail time. It was his friendship with the drug lord that led him to being in the middle of some shady business. That's why in 1993, he was imprisoned for being involved in a kidnapping. Yeah, that's right. Although he did not participate in the kidnapping per se, he did deliver the money, in which he got some profit, and in Colombia it's illegal to profit from kidnapping. Adrian Mutu. Romanian international striker Adrian Mutu was an extremely talented and promising young player when he signed for Chelsea back in August 2003. But he ruined his Premier League career after failing a drug test for cocaine, and he was released by the club after just 1 year. Mutu was banned for 7 months as a result, and fined £20,000 by the Football Association. He was also allegedly rumored to have some blood drinking related plans with porn stars, and had an addiction to sex. And now, for number one, we have Joey Barton. When you think of controversial footballers out there are many, but Joey Barton takes the award on this one. Known for not controlling his big mouth, having over 100 yellow cards to his name, and always causing fights. He has also been arrested over 6 times in his life for all sorts of reasons. For example, he stopped a cigar out on former youth Man City teammate Jamie Tandy. The then 20-year-old did a prank on Barton, and he decided to return the favor in a very exaggerated way. Also playing for Manchester City, he got in a fight with former teammate Usa Mendao, and Barton left him with a detached retina. He also broke a pedestrian's leg at 2 a.m. while driving, showing his bare butt to Everton fans, assaulting a 15-year-old Everton fan while on pre-season tour. The list goes on. But Barton's most horrific act was in 2008, when he assaulted a man and a 16-year-old teenager outside a McDonald's. Joey Barton was drunk that night and got in an argument with a couple of teenagers, and then started punching a man to the ground around 20 times before breaking the teenager's teeth. He was sentenced for 6 months by a judge, but he was free after 70 days for apparently good behavior. Weird, right? Thankfully, he's now retired, and hopefully everyone can forget about the bad business that is Joey Barton.